Hello everyone and welcome to Singapore for the opening race of the P1 League, and we couldn't think of a more fitting place to start the season. Over a sprawling 3.1 mile course, we're featuring 3 DRS zones and 23 grueling corners, this street circuit will test our drivers to the max. Right, let's see if we can work out who's in front. Looks like there's an Alpha at the front. It's Tonka. Tonka's decided to go out first, the brash Irishman. So there you go into turn 3, and you get the dog leg of 4. Where you get a minor hard braking zone before the long DRS straight at turn 5. Then you got a long straight with a dog leg turn 6 in the middle. Veering round. Hard braking into turn 7. Short little dash down at turn 8. The left-hander. Actually the right-hander, I apologise. Then you get the left-hander at turn 9. Medium length straight, which is a good chance to really pull away or grab some time up on somebody using your ERS. In a turn 10, quick turn 11, turn 12, just as you're coming across the bridge. Sharp turn 13 into the DRS straight at the back of the track. Long straight leading down to turn 14. I'm sure you've got to correct yourself here because you need to go over to the right hand side to be in the right position to take onto turn 15, cutting into turn 16, which moves quickly into 17. Dash towards the bridge section at turn 18. Under the bridge into turn 19. Quick dash. Turn 20, going straight into turn 21. Final straight before coming into the final 2 turns at 22 and 23 by the pit entry. And then over the line into the home straight. Tonka now out, the first guy out on a flying lap. Out on the softs. Let's see how he does. Lots of guys out on their things. Few guys have stayed behind. Vihan, Streeb and Stooge and Sully have all decided to hang on. Maybe wait for a clearer bit of track. Though clear track's not such an issue on this circuit due to the length. Now I'm expecting we should be looking here for around a 135. Low 135, maybe high 134s for the top lap in this. Considerably faster group in the P1 section. Judging by recent form, Streeb and Timmy, Ron Zeus, all potential top drivers here. There's more to that list too. And we've got 3 reserve drivers in this race right now. We've got Red Eye Jedi in here. We've got Marina in here. And we've got the Bra in here covering for people who couldn't unfortunately make this race. Oh, Tonka's messed up his lap. Yep, Sparks right behind him. Sparks takes a 135.4 to start the session. Timmy with a 135.8 just after him. Already both those laps inside what the fastest lap was in the previous one. Let's take a look. We're Ron Zeus now, about to come through, finish his lap. 135, 135.9. Let's catch a bit of gnarly here. Someone who's a bit further back on the track. Also out in the softs. Marina with a 139.5. Pro Mayhem with a 137.3. Bra with a 137.6. We actually have Alfa Romeos in this race, as there's 18 drivers in this. There's no Haas's, unfortunately. We'll be expanding next season to a full grid, but for this season there's 18 in P1 and 16 cars in P2. Gnarly pops up a 136.5. Hendo pops up a 136.9 on the mediums. Vihan's now out on his quick lap in the Williams. Coming into the final section now, turns 20 and 21. Going up to turns 22, 23. 131, 132, 133, 34, 35, 35.8 for Vihan. Pops himself up into P4. Tonka has set a purple sector 1 as he comes into the back straight. On the mediums too. Currently Little Spark the fastest with a 135.4. I do think there's potential for us to see the low 134s here, which would be a very impressive set of times. And he's red-lined it. Tonka, what are you doing, son? Alright, we're going to roll on with Chengo. I think a lot of people coming out straight for their second runs. There's not a lot of time to mess around with here. You're going to get in quick. You really want to do ideally one medium run, 2 soft runs. But if you get in one excellent early lap, you can sort of avoid having to do one of those runs. Here we go, 136, 136.5. So far, the top 9 drivers are all within the time the second fastest driver was in the qualifying earlier. Let's go down and see Stooge here. Streeb, of course, yet to set a time. He's still sitting there in the pits. He's very confident that he's not going to go out yet. $33, $34, $35, $36, $136.7. Pops himself up into P10. Okay, we're going to dip down to see Pro Mayhem here. Streeb still sitting there in the pits, having not yet made a time. Sully, where's Sully on the track? Sully comes over the line into 136.3 on the mediums, but pops himself up into P6. Currently, none of what I think were the top 3 fastest drivers on paper are currently in the top 3 of the race. Oh no, they are. Timmy, I apologise. Timmy is. I do think Timmy and Streeb are probably the top 2 on outright pace. But there's quite a few others. Ron Zeus, he could be up there. Hindle hasn't redlined his lap. He's looking to improve on a 137.1. He's out on the softs. He just purple sectored sector 2. He could be on an absolute flyer here. Little Spark's gone for a 134.9. And Timmy's on a 135.0. Wow. Now Hindle's on a 133. 34. He's improved by a 136. Pops himself up into P6. Are we going to see somebody go into the deep into the 134s? I did say I thought a 135 dead would be about the fastest time, so a 134.9. But I did think we might break into the mid 134s if people really went crazy. But I did feel like 135 was just about the marker. Right, we're on with Tonka. He's coming up to the bridge section. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Tonka makes a 135.6 to put himself up into P3, but nearly puts himself into the wall afterwards. Let's go with Streeb. Streeb's coming around the final corner. He's got to make a lap here. With a 136.0, puts himself into P7. He has got a chance to do one more lap, but I do think the mediums was a strategic race strategy. Whether 7th is going to be a great start point or not for him, I don't know. Ron Zeus is out on his hot lap. I think that's Tonka in front, who's going to have to yield, I think. I could be wrong, that could be Red Eye. In fact, I think that's Red Eye if he's on an out lap. Red Eye is going to be just about getting over the line in time. I think everybody who comes through... Very courteous of Red Eye letting him through there. He's going to have enough time there to make it. I think everybody who's kind of behind the two Red Bulls on the track have probably got no chance of making it to the cut-off line in time. So if they're on out laps... Ron Zeus pops himself up to third with a 135.4. Sparks out. Is he going on an absolute flyer? Wow, he's just set a purple sector 1. Difficult though because of the traffic in front. I'm just looking. Little Spark, let's have a follow. How's he doing? Comes out turns 20 and 21. Just dashing down into the final two corners. Is he going to improve on his time? 133, 134, 134.5 from Little Spark. But it's been discounted. He must have hit over the line. Oh, that was close. So it's Little Spark in first, Timmy in second, Mickey's in third, Ron Zeus in fourth, Warren Haig fifth, Tonka sixth, Hendo seventh, Red Eye eighth, Vihan ninth, Streeb 10th, Hindler 11th, Sully 12th, Bruh 13th, Gnarly 14th, Chengo 15th, Stooge 16th, Pro Mayhem 17th, and Marinat 18th. GG's everybody. No place penalties in this one. Good play. It's race day here at the Singapore Grand Prix with clear track conditions and the potential of cloud and rain on the horizon. This could be a very, very interesting competition. Our drivers are all on the grid. We're waiting the off. Waiting for the formation lap to begin. And then it'll be lights out on Season 1 of the P1 League. Okay, so we've got Spark in first, Timmy in second, Mickey's third, Ron Zeus in fourth, and on row 3 we've got Warren Haig and Tonka. Row 4 we've got Hendo and Red Eye Jedi. Row 5 we've got Vihan and Strebe. Row 6 we've got Hindle and Sully. Row 7 we've got the Bruh and Gnarly. Row 8 we've got Chengo and Stooge. And row 9 we've got Pro, Mayhem and Marinat. Can I do this so that no, that's not true. Okay, so I can't do it that way. As the drivers get to the end of the track now, getting ready to make themselves ready for the start, take up their positions. Right, as we get ready for the start of the first race of the P1 League's first season, a lot on the line, chance to get a real advantage as we get ahead in Singapore. Lights out, and we are go. We get down to turn 1. Spark still leads Timmy. Mickey's Ron Zeus. Warren. No changes in the top 7. Vihan jumps the red eye. Strebe in 10. Hindle. Sully. The Bruh. Gnarly. Chengo. Marinat makes up 2 spots. Pro Mayhem and Stooge now in last. Now the question is, will anybody do what happened in the previous race? The winner of the last race took a one-stop strategy. It paid off for him, but there was a lot of incidences behind. I expect the racing to be far cleaner and far tighter in this race. Let's roll in Timmy's roll so we can see what's happening behind. We get a good view of what goes on with more cars that way. Everybody's kind of evenly spaced. Everyone makes it through the first few corners in first thing. Well done, everybody. Oh no, and Spark spun! Dropping down 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. It's going to be hard for him to find a spot. He's going to be right at the back. Puts himself his... Has he taken himself out entirely? Wow, well that's a tragic start to it. Timmy now leads the race. Mickey's in second, Ronzu's third, Warren fourth, Tonka fifth. Well, that's a one for the history books. I was just on the verge of saying everyone made it around the first lap cleanly, and then, you know, I didn't actually get to say the commentator's curse. The incident beat me to it, but I was milliseconds away from it. Well, there's been a bit of contact there between what looks like Streeb and the Red-Eyed Jedi. Don't know exactly what's happened there. Well, that will have to be looked into afterwards, after the race. Right, let's move back up to the front runners. There's a bit of a gap picking out between all the drivers now. Timmy's pulled out a 3.5 second lead. We're following with Hendo behind Tonka. Number of drivers have already made pit stops. Getting in early, getting in off those softs that they qualified on. Putting themselves onto mediums, looking at potentially long two-stop strategies, which will probably be a medium-hard combo. More than possible to do. Clay Funk finished the last race doing 16 on the hard and was not losing time to the car behind, so the hards can definitely go 18, maybe even 20 laps if needed. Hendo dropping off from Tonka though. There's gaps pretty much far between them all. Vihan and Ron Zeus though now. There's a bit of a battle going on there. The Brugg gets a 3-second penalty for corner cutting warnings. Pro Mayhem's right on the back of Gnarly right there. Let's have a look. Lots of chopping and changing going on. Tonka and Brett are in the pits. Let's just have a quick look to see where they come out. Tonka's going to come out now. Is he going to come out in front of the Bruh? He does come out in front of the Bruh. Now, can Vihan manage to get into the gap on Ron Zeus? Two of the faster drivers here, fighting down for P9 right now. Be interesting to see what happens when we get to the next DRS zone. The Bruh is also in the DRS of Stooge. In fact, he's just passed him. And that wasn't even on a DRS zone, so that's impressive. Now, has Vihan got the run on him this time? Is he going to expend some DRS in order to do so? Let's get his point of view. As we approach turn 13 in the DRS zone. Still well inside the DRS zone. I don't think this is the easiest one to overtake on unless you want to expend... Oh, and he doesn't get the best run out of that corner. Ron Zeus takes it cleanly. Vihan doesn't so much. But he's going to be right on the back of him now. Tonka's now also within the DRS on Warren. Again, it's these situations where the hards versus the mediums. The hards are slightly less quick, but it's so much harder to overtake on this circuit that you can find yourself waiting a lap, half a lap for an opportunity, and not getting the run out of a corner can really cost you. Hendo has just jumped Mickey's because Mickey's has gone into the pit. These guys are going to overtake him too. That puts Ron Zeus up into 8th, Vihan up into 9th. Ron Zeus is now up in 7th thanks to the pit stops of somebody else. Timmy's now in the pits. Okay, let's see where he comes out. Comes out into P3. $11 up on Hendo. 9 seconds up on Hendo. Oh, more pit stops going on below. We're going to go back to Vihan and Ron Zeus though, because it's really going down here. This is going to be the scrap of the race, I think. These guys are pretty much even and competitive. I would put both of these in the top 6 drivers. I would even say that Ron Zeus is arguably top 3, maybe Vihan top 3, top 4. Based on pre-season form. Currently the closest gap on the thing. We could be following these guys for the majority of the race. They're so close. Value for money for your Williams sponsors and your McLaren sponsors. Now we're coming into the DRS zone. Let's take a look from Vihan's view again. Much cleaner run out of it, but Ron Zeus got a good run out of it too. But they're going to be very tight come the end of this straight. But just Ron Zeus still able to keep his distance away. Provided he doesn't scuff up. He's holding off well. There's only so many laps you get that advantage when you're using the mediums before the hards eventually plateau. They eventually plateau and the hards catch up. But we should be a good 6 laps away from that actually happening. Just looking down the list, there's some pretty even gaps between everyone. Streeb, 2 seconds now off of Sully. It'll be interesting to see if Streeb can maintain that, because Timmy seems to be tracking him down. He's only 6 seconds behind him now. Here we go. Has he got the run on him here? Ron Zeus is probably having to use a lot of errs in order to stay ahead. But patience is the game and he stays ahead for the time being. Let's just pop ourselves up here and have a look at Streeb and Sully. Tonka already in for a second pit stop. Chengo also in for a second pit stop. Timmy sets the fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:39.4. Streeb now right on the back of Sully. In the DRS zone. And Streeb is quick. He was the fastest in our qualifying sessions last week for placements. Is he going to maintain that going into the league? He's gone in with a slightly off-key strategy. But Timmy is still catching him on his new mediums. Timmy's strategy seems to be working out absolutely perfectly for him. Warren is just overtaken Mickey's as Mickey's goes into the pits for a second pit stop. So we're going to move back to Timmy, who's now pretty much caught up behind Streeb. He's going to be within the DRS of him very shortly. He's now within DRS. Sitting with about 40% ERS available to him. Let's take a look as he goes down towards the turn 4, coming into turn 5, into the DRS straight. And Timmy has just cleaned time out of him in the last lap. Whether that's the dirty air from being behind Sully that's slowing up Strebe, or whether it's those tyres are starting to show signs of give, it's not going to be long before Timmy's got back onto the end of him. We're now on lap 11 of 31. Still plenty of racing to go in this race. Mayhem picks up a 3-second warning penalty for multiple corner cuttings. Gnarly starting to catch on Tonka too, even though Tonka's just come out on new tyres. Tonka having an absolute nightmare today. Timmy's right on the back of Strebe. Strebe's top, I'm sure. Surely, if you're going to be Strebe now, you've got to be thinking pit stop. You're losing time. You're pushing hard to go on that one-stop strategy. But Timmy's right on the back of him. Safety car, virtual safety car is out. Where was the incident? That's what I want to know. And again, this is the inaugural race in the P1 League. A lot on thing. It's one of these things where if you win this race, you put yourself down in the legend. We could be 10 seasons deep and people will still be able to say, I won the first P1 League race. And Timmy is right on Strebe. I'm pretty sure Strebe is trying to play for a one-stop strategy, but I do think it's counterintuitive when you see that there's a car pushing directly into the back of you, who's already made his pit on faster tyres. Not gaining any time on the car in front. He's now going into the pits. It's going to be an 18-lap strategy for him in order to make that as a one-stopper. That's an interesting way of doing things. Vihan has dropped off from Ronzus, which because as those mediums have probably hit the edge of their limits now. Well held by Ronzus. Now, where's Sully going to come out by comparison to Ronzus? Let's have a look. Ronzus is coming up. He's taken Sully. Though Ronzus will definitely be having to make one more pit stop. Sully may just be playing the one-stop pit stop, but that's an interesting choice. Strebe is now 2 seconds behind Sully. And their battle is back on again. But Timmy now with a whopping 16 seconds lead over Hendo. We're both on. Both have already made one stop each. Both definitely need to make one more stop. But they're both in the zone now where they'll definitely only have to make one more stop unless they make a poor tyre choice. Some serious gaps developing between everybody as well, but we're back on board with Strebe, who's only 1.2 seconds now behind Sully. Looking much happier on a fresher set of tyres. Now as we're approaching the end of lap 15, we'll just take a quick look through the running order right now. We've got first is Timmy Where To next, second is Hendo for president, third is Ron Zeus, fourth Sully, fifth Strebe, sixth Vihan, seventh Warren Haig, eighth The Brad, ninth Stooge, 10th Mickey's, 11th Marinat, 12th Chengo Khan, 13th Tonka, 14th Pro Mayhem, and lastly a little gnarly holding the last place out with Hindle, Red Eye Jedi and Little Spark having failed to finish. But Strebe is really pushing it as we're coming up to the long DRS straight. How much time can he make up into him? He's not using a lot of hers, he's just trying to get near to him. But he's only 0.3 of a second, 0.4 of a second behind him. But then you start getting into that dirty air and you start losing any of the time you've gained. The thing is do you want to take the risk and take a gamble and cane up a large amount of your ERS just to get track position in front? Both of these two have both got to be quite wary of their tyres. Doing 18 and 19 laps on hards respectively. But currently they're the only two with a very, very close battle. Strebe just picked up a 3-second time penalty for warnings. Sully's pulled wide to one side. Not exactly certain why he's done that. Has he picked up damage? No. Has he had to let him through for something? I don't know. Very bizarre. Probably thinking to himself, take it a little easier. You take the DRS. Put less wear onto your tyres. Just take it a little bit slower. Knowing that Strebe has a penalty warning now. Although he's currently outside of DRS. Has Sully maybe taken some damage somewhere? No, he's back inside DRS. I think he's just... We're going to come through the bridge section. And I think we're going to take a lap with the leader. As we come through the final corners into the home straight as we approach the complex that is turns 1, 2 and 3. Left, quick right, hard braking into a left. Onto the straight. Dog leg of 4. Pull out wide so you can come into 5. Into the long DRS straight here. Slightly curved. Turn 6. Keeping on the throttle fully. Into turn 7. Along the straight. Turn 8. And quickly along onto the left-hander of turn 9. And then onto the back straight. Braking quickly into turn 10. Into turn 11. Short little turn 12 as we cross the bridge. Along into turn 13 for the hard braking section into the back DRS zone. Hard braking into 14. Trying to pull yourself back round to the right hand side of the track to position yourself and to go quickly to turn 15 that turns into turn 16. And the left hander into turn 17. Getting on the throttle fully, then hard braking at the bridge. 18 under the bridge, turn 19. Right hand turn 20 into 21. Final straight. Lightly off the throttle, then rounded to turn 22 and 23, back across the finish line. And that's a perfect lap of Singapore right there. In the meantime, Strebe has now pulled out around 2 seconds on Sully. But Sully seems to be stepping back into it a little bit. Maybe Sully deciding to rest, keep those tyres firm, knowing that Strebes are going to wear down quite a lot later. But they've also got, and that looks like Ronzu's coming to lap them directly behind, which is going to cause a right nightmare. The blue flags must be waving like crazy. And that's going to really ruin this race. Chengo Khan got a 3-second penalty for not paying attention to the blue flags, I think. Oh, and he's lost it, and they both all hit into each other. That went horribly wrong. Horribly wrong. But these back markers should be moving out the way quicker for these cars. Sully's now managed to catch Ronzus thanks to these guys. You can't be doing this, guys. You've got to be moving over with the blue flags. Ronzus into the pits. I think he was going to be pitting soon anyway. But that's not on, guys. You've got to make sure you're doing your blue flags. Endo now up into P4. Sully now 3 seconds off from Strebe. Interesting to see how much longer those tyres are going to last out. Following along with Hendo as he approaches the Alpha of Tonka. Pro Mayhem has DNF'd. But Timmy now sitting there well over a pit stop ahead of Strebe. So when he comes in, which he has done now, we will see exactly how far he has to go. Because he's going to be on another set of those mediums. Those guys are going to be on hards. They're not going to be able to catch. I don't think he's going to be seconds ahead. Let's just move it to Strebe a sec to see exactly how far he is. He's miles back. Timmy's going to come out of this pit. Strebe, who's now 4 seconds ahead of Sully, is 6.5. 4 seconds behind Timmy, who's got a fresh set of boots on. That's got to do 12 laps on the mediums. Let's jump on board with Warren as he's going to be taking chunks of time out of Stooge, who's on 17 lap old hards. Suffice to say, if Stooge goes in now onto the mediums, he'll be perfectly fine. He probably wanted to pit a couple of laps ago, really. As he's not really fighting for track position, as Warren is 1 minute and 26 seconds ahead of Mickey's. There you go, easily passed. He couldn't fight him at all. Good idea, just let him through. That Williams is just too peak right now to be fighting against it. The question will be, when does he go for a pit and get himself back into some kind of racing form, because there are other cars that will have to fight him, because I'll be honest, I don't see Warren surviving on softs for the full 11 laps that he's gone out for them on. Tonka has retired from the race. He's had a pretty... he'll be disappointed with that race. It definitely didn't go right from the start. Now Ron Zeus is going to be catching Vihan at a real pace. I'm surprised Stooge is still staying out on hards. It seems crazy to be out on hards right now, on 18 lap hole hards, when he could be on mediums. But I think we're starting to find where the real positions are. The question is, does Ron Zeus get his place back from Vihan? This is going to be where the real battle of the race is. They're approaching Mickey's here, the back marker. Oh no! He spun it! Did he take damage? That's the question. I think he may have avoided getting actual damage. I think he might just be okay, but that's going to really put him out of it. Vihan's only on 7 lap old hard, so he's not going to run any issues as far as the next few laps while those mediums are at their peak. He needs to get back past that Ferrari. There we go. Well played, Ferrari. Gotta let the guy through. Well done. And now everybody seems pretty spaced out. No one particularly making any progress on each other, and I think Ron Zeus and Vihan were the 2 guys left that were really competing with each other. But I do have to say, I think Warren's going to have to make one more pit before the end of this, or end up losing a lot of time. But then the only guy behind him is Stooge, who's now sitting on 19-year-old hard. 19-year-old. 19 lap old hards. Let's get back up to check out the leader, Timmy, who's just been playing super conservative. Played his strategy absolutely perfectly. Has a 10-second lead out. On fresh mediums. The 2 cars that could potentially be chasing him down are both on sort of medium distanced hards. I'm still surprised Stooge is out on 19 lap old hards. We'll be looking at real time drop off with those hards now as they hit 20 laps. Up to that point, they're not particularly going to degrade heavily, but now they're going to be at the point where they really are starting to fall apart. He's now at 20 laps. Just nice and simple racing here from Timmy. Textbook. Got a lot of luck at the start with Jay's spin. Unleashed him. Had Jay not spun, I feel like we could be looking at a very different race. But since then, Timmy's just not let any opportunity go by. We're sitting here now with 8 laps to go. And nothing seems like it's going to get into him. Streber's dropped 3 seconds off him in the last 2 laps. And they're both going to have, both Strebe and Sully are going to have very worn hards by the end of this race. Ron Zeus has started to really make back up time on Vihan, though. We'll be switching back over to those boys again in a minute. Behind the bruh on his softs. He's definitely making the most out of this softs run. He's going to be playing it. He's going to be playing it casual and cool though afterwards, because those things are going to be melted. The luxury of being in Singapore is, well, at least the sun isn't beaming down on the track and melting them quicker. The downside of it is you're in Singapore. Everything's melting anyway. The humidity and heat at this track do not seem to dissipate even when it's dark. He's right in the DRS, in the long DRS straight. You could imagine at the next DRS opportunity he will be overtaking the Bra. Those hards are going to find it very hard to battle, but he needs to get past him this lap. Once we get into 4 or 5 laps on those softs, they start to degrade to the point where you lose your advantage. And he needs to get track position before then, because I do feel like the Bra is going to get a chance to come back on him. Here we go, into the DRS straight. He's going for the run. Oh, he does not get the best run out of it. Oh, he lost himself the opportunity there. Is he going to get the run? No, he hasn't got the run on him. Now looking carefully at the track here, have we got a bit of rain coming down? Looks like the rain's starting to come down right for the end of this race. It did look to me like we were seeing a few drops of rain dropping. Oof. And there's a little bit of a scuff there. I have a feeling there's starting to be a bit of an issue with the track. Ron Zeus is through and he's pulling out time on Vihan. As the rain is just coming down a little bit. The question will be, is this rain going to actually interfere with the race, or is it going to be one of those ones you just brave out and hope for the best? The Bra is back behind Warren now, as those softs are really starting to feel it. Stooge, who's now sitting there having made 23 laps on hards. A mighty impressive display. Maybe he's the one to take a gamble on some inters. But this has been a very impressive drive from Timmy at the front. Absolutely dominant from the start of this race. 15-second lead he now has over Streeb. Streeb with a 9-second advantage over Sully. But it's going to be interesting because it's going to get slippery. But it looks like that rain may not be hard enough to actually affect the track. Oh, it looks like there's a little bit there. That corner looked a little bit wetter. We could well see some issues here. But the bruh looking to come back now at Warren, whose softs must be absolutely starting to hate him now. 6 laps is kind of where you start to see that drop off. There's a bit of water on that corner there. On Zeus pits onto Inters. He's the first car to go in on Inters. Is he gambling big? Vihan stayed out on the hards, which is going to mean his tyres are going to get cold quick. Interesting. Ron Zeus really taking the gamble here. The bruh just takes Warren back. Regains his position. As those 7-lap-old softs just do not seem to be liking the conditions right now. Is that a big gamble from Ron Zeus, though? Is it a big gamble? Warren's coming back at him, though. Has he got the run? Not enough of a run here. Well, ladies, don't call this race over yet. There could still be time for a big accident. Warren's still just behind him. It's not been wet enough for them to deactivate DRS yet, though. I'm not certain if Ron Zeus's gamble is going to pay off. He seems to be just dropping back from Vihan, so he's not gaining any time on those inters. And I think he's lucky enough not to have enough laps left to really get caught by the bruh, because the rain is still coming down here. What an amazing finish we're going to have to this, though, if something goes horribly wrong. I could really see somebody spinning out and having an accident here. Warren now coming in from 8 laps in. Is he going to stick on another set of softs? He is. Vihan just picks up a 3-second for multiple warnings. But Vihan gradually catching up little bit by little bit on Hendo here. Which is surprising because Vihan has the older tyres. Maybe he's just finding it more comfortable in the wet. We're getting very close to the end here. The penultimate lap we are now on. The last thing we need to see right now is them go. Here comes the yellow. Oh, Ron Zeus is DNF'd. As we're coming round to the last few corners. We're going to roll with Timmy for a little bit. Unless I see Vihan really close up. Laps his teammate. For the second time. Fantastic drive from Timmy. He's got 20 seconds ahead. Vihan not making an impression on Hendo there. Still just sitting there, that kind of 0.5, 0.6 seconds away, but never really approaching. Probably the track is a bit too light to be able to do it. As Timmy comes across the bridge for the final time. Into turn 13. Onto the DRS straight. Picks up a little bit of a scuff there. Let's Warren back through. Timmy, I think, is just taking it very casually. Just making sure he gets to the end in one piece. Not concerning himself with pushing it too hard. He's got 20-second lead. As he approaches the bridge for the final time, underneath he goes. The crowd are going crazy even though they're starting to get soaking wet. Timmy takes the final 2 turns for the last time across the line and takes the inaugural victory in the P1 League. Timmy, where to next? Timmy, to the podium, sir. That's where to next. Vihan's dropped off a considerable amount from Hendo, so let's follow up with Streeb, who's now finishing up the final lap. Comes through, picks up 2nd place. Sully coming through in the Ferrari behind him. Don't get distracted by the fireworks in the final corner. In the wet. Well done. Picks up 3rd. Here comes Hendo with Vihan just behind him, who's not going to catch him. Be interesting to see how penalties come into play between these two. I think Vihan takes 4th as Hendo gets more penalties. Stooge and Mickey have finished 7th, 8th. Marinath picks up the last point in 10th. The Brer comes through. 16 laps on hards. It must be difficult in these conditions right now. Look at that. The car can barely stay on the track. Great drive, sir. As he approaches the end, Warren taking little bits out of his time, but it's too little too late. Approaches the last couple of corners, he's going to take it as gingerly as a cat. Get that McLaren home in one piece, don't hit the wall. 6th place for the Bruh. And finally Warren to be the last driver to complete the track. Well played, gentlemen. Well done, everybody. 6th place for Warren as we approach the podium section. Streeb picks up driver of the day. Timmy wins the first P1 League race, the P1 Grand Prix in Singapore. The classified order. Timmy, where to next, comes first. Streeb 2nd. Sully 3rd. Vihan in 4th. Hendo for President 5th. Warren 6th. Bruh 7th. Stooge 8th. Mickey's 9th. Marinette 10th. Ron Zeus 11th. Chengo 12th. And then 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th and 18th. All not classified. That's Tonka, Pro Mayhem, Little Gnarly, Hindle, Red Eye Jedi and Little Spark. Congratulations, guys. Well done on the first race. Join us next week when we'll be taking on the 2nd league race in each of the P2 and P1 leagues at Bahrain. Out in the desert. Evening race. Be there. Don't miss it. Well done to everyone taking part today. Well done you guys, everybody, for watching. And we'll see you all real soon. Now let's take a look at the Drivers' Championship after the first race. Timmy where to next obviously takes the lead, with Streeb and Sully following behind. And just taking a quick brief look over at the Constructors' Championship. Renault have the lead with 25 points. Aston Martin Racing following just behind on 22 points. Williams on 20 points. Ferrari on 17. Mercedes on 10 points. McLaren on 7 points. And Alfa picking up a point just at the end there. Thank you for watching. See you next week.